Minutes late. Sorry about that. I was meeting with somebody who very likely could become one of our floor designers, one of our designers at the design studio.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's awesome. So I think she could be a real asset. So if you're interested in that kind of gig, hit me up.
Yeah, I was wondering if she was in the Villages.
Yeah, so she works at a store in the Villages. I met her and I had a great experience. I'm like, man, you need to come see what we do here. She's fired up. She started watching videos and stuff. So she called me after I told her, go check out Obsessed Garage. Tell me what you think. And so she called me. She said, man, you guys are nuts. This is awesome. I want to be a part of that. So she's like, I don't know how I can be a part of it, and so I was showing her our design studio and what we have planned and all that. It's going to be wild. I think our foray into local install and design can be really significant. And it will just help fuel the rest of the business too, because then we'll have all kinds of awesome ideas that we can show people, the start to finish stuff. Showing people, the mailbox got blown up by, again, at Helen. Somebody ran into it. Yeah.
Aren't there only like 2 houses down there?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're building one.
Okay. Maybe a truck hit it.
Yeah.
Turn. Let's see. Let's get into the super chat here. A big super chat. $49.99. Tyler Thompson. 2 questions. Number 1, would Matt please summarize his no contact wash process with Touchless?
So it's not a perfect solution, right? Your car doesn't get completely cleaned. But if you just want to, let's say you just, drove it and you got caught in the rain one day, and you just want to kind of keep it semi-clean. So what I do is do it dry. So don't hose the car off first. So don't pressure wash it first. Mix Built Hamber Touchless to 2%. So figure out the 2% dilution doing the foam cannon test. So make sure you're getting 2% PIR, panel impact ratio. I'm going to foam the whole car down, and then I'm going to go grab my tire brush and just scrub the tires with the Built Hamber. Right, just scrub it real fast. And then I'm going to simply let it sit there for 5 minutes, and I'm just going to go and rinse it. And since I'm going to rinse with DI water, I don't have to touch it. You don't want to dry it, regardless, because you didn't get it completely clean. So you don't want to do any kind of touching the paint. So we really need DI water. You need 0 ppm or say 20 parts per million or lower DI water. So you need some quality water, because you're just going to let the car dry off on its own. If you have steel rotors, you probably want to hit them with Atomac so it doesn't rust over. And then, you can choose to just let the water sit or just blow dry it off. Just don't go wiping the car. That's the key, because you may or may not have gotten everything off the surface. So that process takes like 20 minutes or less. Foam it, scrub the tires really quickly, rinse it, blow it off or not. It's your choice. Hit the wheels with some Atomac or the rotors with some Atomac, and that's it.
You're done.
Yep.
Second question, how can I help and get in on the DI beta tester group? I'm in Indianapolis, 450 parts per million.
Yeah, I don't know. So we're working on getting the working prototypes here, and just stay tuned. I'll put it out there, and I don't know how I'm going to do that yet.
And then he has one final question here. He wants to know, is that a new Pepsi?
Oh, no, it's not new, but it's mine.
It's
yeah.
A Pepsi.
Yeah, it's the non white gold version. So it's the it's the GMT Master stainless Rolex. I forget it's like BLV something or other. It's got a skew to it, but yeah, not new.
All right, let's see. Carlton Marshall II says, "Hey Matt, since you have an interest in high CRI lighting, I'm surprised you have a low CRI Phoenix flashlight on the site. Have you ever tried a higher end one like Zebralight? See the SC600W plus HI."
The Phoenix goes back to the old days where we were using that to inspect. I just kind of kept it on the site because I still use that as a flashlight, like I'm going in the attic or something like that. So I you know, at the time, I don't think we really had many high quality, actual LEDs. But maybe I'll check something like that out. I just don't use that type of light very often. I'm using it more as just a basic flashlight rather than we used to use it as a inspection light for the paint.
There you go. Yeah, that looks like your kind of flashlight there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are really into flashlights. I've never really been one, but that looks pretty cool.
CRI 90 plus, 4500K.
Color temp.
Thanks, Carlton. Is it possible, Logan wants to know, to install an OG custom Blue Tree countertop on ProSlat like you did with the MSS Plus at Destination?
Oh,
OG?
for sure. Yep. Yeah, you definitely can.
Just need some measurements. Any plans or opinions on making more variations of press-all labels for similar products? For instance, one window cleaner label, but there's 3 different types of window products: traceless, invisible, etc.
Yeah, we will have 3 different versions of when we do the OG line, the full line, bottle, pre-bottled, and press-all stuff. We will have it. It'll be co-labeled or co-branded, so it'll say whatever it is. Glass cleaner, touchless, built hammer on it. But then we'll also have like a write-in version as well for people. So we'll have like a generic version that people can have a spot to kind of denote what it actually is. But we'll certainly have our co-branded versions for if we have some different stuff like surface prep. We have surface prep, we have eraser, and we have the G-Technic version. So we have different versions that we can use.
Detailing Garage says, hey, Matt, what are some good can lights for the house that are not Cree? Cree is just way out of my budget, $30 a can, can't afford that, and I like 4,000K.
Oh, you can't swing $30? Well, then you're going to just, there isn't anything. I didn't think you could get any cheaper than that. I think you're out of luck.
Save up.
Yeah, just buy one at a time. I mean, all the Halo and all that other stuff is junk. How much aren't the SLGs more than that? How much are our SLG lights? Those you only do if you need to do 5K, and they're not nearly as good. But I think those are more money. They're on our website.
Okay.
Yeah, let me look at I think those are like $40. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you there. You're out of luck. You're just going to have crappy light. Because the Cree is punching way above its belt. Oh, there you go. You can buy the SLGs. $15 a piece.
4-inch or 6-inch, same price. It looks like.
They're okay. The reason why we have them is because we don't have anything that can match 5K in the garage. So those are color selectable, which is not what you're looking for. But they're decent enough. Like I did all those. I had to do those in Helen because we couldn't fit the Crees. They wouldn't fit in the weird cans we had. But they're not nearly as good. But that's half the price, so hopefully that can help you out.
Greg Fritz says, hey, Matt, will you please sell me the Comet you just installed once you're done with it? There's quite a line already.
Yeah, gee whiz. He's like 45th in line.
It's a good thought, but
Yeah.
A few people have emailed about that. Speed Break Aviation says, I have to know, going back to last week's discussion about music and your skater days.
Yep.
Since Matt listened to Minor Threat, how about Fugazi?
No, I know them, but they weren't in my list.
Mike P wants to know, what does Matt think about Alfa Romeo?
I think they're kind of junk. The Giulia Quattrofolio is kind of cool. It sounds great, but yeah, it's just not an Italian car kind of guy. Maserati, Alfa, Ferrari, just not. I don't know, just a little too janky for my taste. But they're cool. I mean, I get why people might like them.
Kurt wants to know, are the Speed Queen stackers as good as the more traditional setup of top load, front load dryer?
No, not quite as good, but they still use 22 gallons of water in the wash cycle, like the normal wash cycle, and so it still does a really, really good job. I didn't find anything getting stinky or funky. They still operate in about the same amount of time. Like, it's not like this 2-hour wash cycle that you get from like a Whirlpool or a Samsung or an LG. So I'd say they're like 85% as good. It's worth it if you're trying to fit duals, a dual setup in there, to me, to be 85% as good as a like TC5 DC5. But I've sort of fallen on the sword here. I bought the TR7, DR7, which are technically the new tub or the new design with the digital display versus the really old school TC5 DC5, which is the original tub, and I don't notice any difference in performance. So that was the big scuttlebutt, was that the new version don't clean as well as the old version. Well, I mean, it seems to be working well for me. So the one thing to keep in mind when you're doing the black style or the black version, you just have to know that it's black, and so you can see all the detergent and stuff all over the place.
T-Daz 250 says he got his bottle of Touchless.
Nice.
How much should I add to an MTM cannon for the proper mix?
Well, you have to follow the procedures. So go watch the video and use the PIR calculator on our website. So you have to basically fill the foam cannon with 1,000 milliliters of water, run the foam cannon of just bare water into your bucket, and then measure how much water is in the bucket after it siphons all the water out, and then go use our calculator, and it will tell you, how much to put into your foam cannon in the future. It's usually somewhere in the 200 to 350 milliliters of product per 1,000 liters of solution.
And T-Daz, if you just search Touchless on the website, it's the product page. You scroll down and you'll find the calculator there.
It tells you the step-by-step what to do. Yep. You only have to do it once, and then you just write it on the back of the bottle.
All right. Oh, our new friend Owen Samuels is here. He says, thanks to Chris, Matt, Mike and Mike, Susie, Nicholas, Daniel, Tim, and the OG team for a great day. Owen, Doc Detail. Yeah, so he came to visit us on Tuesday.
So he doesn't have a garage, and it could be 2 years before he gets his garage situation dialed. And so if you didn't watch the video, he kind of tells the whole story. So we don't get to build the garage, but I wanted to, it's always great to complete the story, make sure people know that their money wasn't wasted, that somebody won the thing and somebody deserving won the thing. And he, I really appreciate him flying here on his own dime and coming and seeing us, and so we wrote him the check. He took the check home, and he's, if I'm lucky, he'll end up spending that check here, someday. So that was awesome to go through the process. We've been so fortunate that all the winners have been super appreciative. It's been really great, and Pam McRae hasn't, their tennis ball walker hasn't, scammed us out of winning yet. So that's good.
Yeah, that's I think it's called like the Mike and Mike Daily Vlog or something like that on the channel. That's where you'll hear his story. Purist wants to know, have your thoughts on QuickJacks changed at all, seeing as you were recently using a set?
No, it's terrible.
Long-term goal is a 4-post lift for storage, but I think the QuickJacks still have a place.
The problem, it's fine as long as you have a big old garage. You got a big old garage to put them somewhere. Mike's got a garage and he's got all these barns and all this crap, so he can keep them somewhere. But they're 90 pounds a piece, and then you got to have the big, you got to put them somewhere. And I don't want this freaking hanging on my garage wall somewhere. So I would rather have 4 Rhino ramps up in the attic and a couple of jacks that don't take up as much space. But yeah, I mean, it's if you have somewhere to put them, I'd rather have that than jacks and ramps. But if I don't have somewhere to put them, and I don't want them hanging on the wall in my garage, then I don't like them.
Spencer, our buddy up in the Dakota, says, how close are we to being able to buy the full DI setup? Still months?
Yeah. Sometime this year, I think. We're getting really close.
It's a long process, Spencer.
We're having an issue with our TDS meter. It's not reading right. And we're trying to translate Korean to English. It's annoying.
T-Self77 says, as I did not win yet another garage giveaway, I'm getting geared up to design a cabinet array. Will ProSlat be included in this year's Black Friday sale? Free shipping as well?
Free shipping, no, but I think cabinets likely yes.
Yeah, we'll double check. We're still making all those final decisions on what's covered and what's not. But on anything freight shipping, no, it's not free because freight gets pricey. I think this is a watch question. Matt, why did you go with Submariner over Sea Dweller? You're a big guy. Did the Sub fit you better?
Yeah, I don't like the big face stuff. And I think a Sea Dweller's 43 millimeters. The sweet spot is 39. So I like the GMTs and the Sub-Zeros. It just feels more comfortable. That's part of the reason why I really wasn't into watches. I had an Omega Seamaster. I still have it. Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean. I think it's a 43 millimeter face. And it was just not comfortable. It's too big. And so I even forgot I had this watch on today. It's the right size for me. So, the Sea Dweller is a much bigger, fatter bezel. It sticks out a little bit more, not quite as comfortable. I might get those as I sort of acquire my collection here. I want all the Rolex stuff, just not the dress watches. That would be one of the last ones I'd get.
Brad SSP says, "Hey Matt, this should be a good listen while I clean my engine bay.
Nice.
I've seen you use a pressure washer on the engine bay."
Always, yeah. Way easier. Yeah, they just don't get hung up on those. Just Google Land Cruiser river, and you'll see Land Cruisers rolling through rivers, with water all the way up to the windshield. Now, granted, they're taking their intake, putting a snorkel up above the roof there, up near the roof. But your engine can get wet. I mean, think about all the water that's rainwater. It's coming up from the underneath. You just don't want to spray directly into the intake where the car is wide open throttle. Otherwise, what's going to happen here? Just spray it down, and it'll take you half as long to clean.
Brian Verse wants to know, does anyone make a suede 2-finger-sized cuff applicator to work a coating in tight spots? I recently applied ADS wheel coating with a small microfiber applicator, and it was tough to hit the tight corners.
Yeah, not that I know of.
Audio suggestion here from me for Berksay.
Okay.
I have to say, the Marantz Cinema 40 and a set of Arundel towers.
Yep.
With surround rears and the white satin would have made that new setup right.
Yeah, the Arundel stuff is pretty cool. Michael is a big fan of them. We're going to vet them as well on that sort of lower end line of stuff. So we're thinking PSB, ELAC, Arundel, and Arundel has a couple of higher end ones that are coming out here soon. But yeah, the Marantz stuff, we just pitched Marantz the other day, so hopefully they're going to let us in. I think we did a good job. And these companies are real protective. The audio video space is much more mature in distribution, retail and distributors in general. And so they're real protective over who they allow to sell the stuff. But we have a really compelling story, so I think most companies are going to allow us to do it.
Someone mentioned zebra cakes for some reason. And then Brian says, speaking of zebra cakes, does anyone remember Star Crunch? It was a good day as a kid when you got a Star Crunch. I like Star Crunches.
Is that the one with like the basically Rice Krispie treat covered in chocolate? Those kind of gross me out. Like that was a common like lunchroom. They would sell them. I didn't really like those very much. They taste good, but just something about it just seemed gross to me.
They seemed to like stick to the roof of my mouth more, as I recall. Please try Koshimi's glass cleaner. It's also a great product. Have you tried theirs?
No, but yes, I have, but there's no way it touches Traceless. Traceless is so incredible. Man. How many bottles do we have left? Maybe 200? You got some stats for me?
I brought it up because actually we have an update on the ETA.
It's Monday, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Monday at 8 a.m. And usually when they tell us that, it is here at 7:45 on Monday morning.
Okay,
so
nice.
That's how we're going to start the week next
week. So we have
week.
some more Touchless coming and Traceless, but not a whole lot left.
So, Traceless, we said last week we're getting 1,440 of the 1 liters.
Okay.
944 of them are spoken for.
Okay, so we have 500 left.
And then 5-liter Traceless, 101 of those are spoken for.
Okay, and how many are we getting?
I got to look that up.
It wasn't like 350 or something like that. So lots of 5 gallons. Just buy them both. Buy like 4 of each. I'm telling you. It's going to be gone.
Yeah. What did you say? You're going to put them all over your house?
Yeah, I need at least 10 of those. I need some 5 liters, and I need several more spray bottles. I'm going to put one in the master bathroom, one in each kid's bathroom, one in the kitchen, one in the garage, and then we got this nifty little kit that Bryce has made, like a little travel little thingy. There's a little travel package that people have been asking us for years to make, and I put some in there. And then just put a bunch of 5 liters all over the place. Oh, one in the laundry room maybe. Just have it everywhere. It's so good. I wiped the kitchen counters down today, and I started wiping down my fridge. I got to get all that Wyman's off, but I'm pretty sure that I can just use Traceless on stainless steel from now until forever. It's amazing.
Someone mentioned they clean their matte black appliances with Traceless.
Yep.
When you were talking about the black showing stains.
I'm going to start cleaning my butthole with that. It's so good, man. It's freaking awesome.
Just put it straight in the bidet.
Yeah.
Undiluted. Let's see. Drying towel seems to be leaving lint on my vehicle. I use rags to riches. Any ideas? It's from Adam.
Sometimes it happens with a microfiber towel. You probably just have to ditch it, get a new one. It's just, it's hit or miss on microfiber in general. I find very rare do I have a rag company towel with linting, but occasionally it does happen. It's not unavoidable in any microfiber towel.
Speaking of towels, Khalid says, hey, Matt, can I use the orange towel for the first and second wipe with a drying aid without the big towel? Does it work well?
You can. I mean, you just may find that you may have a little bit of extra water. If you do a really good job of blowing off the car, it's fine. I just like having the big towel, too, because usually there's like cracks and crevices and end up with a, little puddle of water here and there. It tends to work better with the big one, but you certainly could. You might end up using 4 towels where I only use 2 to do a whole car, so maybe you may end up seeing that, but generally just you'd be fine.
George wants to know, he's got a 100 to 120K budget.
Okay.
What weekend fun car would you buy?
I mean, I think you can get into GT4 there. GT4 category, yeah, you certainly can. That's what I would buy. You could get a 991.1 GT3, but it's going to be a little bit higher mileage and a little dicier, a little bit more abused, probably 4 or 5 owners. I'd rather have you can get a new GT4 for that.
All right, I know you can't relate to this, but maybe you still know the answer.
Okay.
JR says, what do you have in the store to clean console buttons that soda has fallen into? The buttons work. They're just slowed down a little bit due to the sugar and stickiness of it.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably soak it down with Griot's interior cleaner and try to dig in there as much as I could, knowing that there's a risk there that I could, get too much liquid in one of the buttons. But if the sugary stuff didn't mess it up, then the other probably wouldn't. And just keep wiping as much as I could.
Let's see. Hey, Matt, it's Tyrion here. All right, so he's got a standard 20 by 20 room with accessible ceilings.
Okay.
If I had a decent TV and $5,000 to spend on a home theater setup, which components would you recommend with that budget?
I think it's ELAC Debut. That's what I'm looking to answer, because that's the exact situation we have at Joe Pachette's house that we're trying to put together. So I'm kind of saying stay tuned, but I think we would do some version of like an $800 or $900, $800 Denon receiver. We would do the ELAC Debut, floor standers and center channel. I'm not sure what subwoofer we would do yet and what we're going to do with the rears, but I would go with a 5.1 setup. So 2 rears, the 3 fronts, subwoofer, and then you're looking at, somewhere around an $800 receiver, and you can put that together and have a really great experience. But I think it's probably going to be ELAC Debut in that price point.
Jonathan wants to know, in your opinion, which is the best cordless vacuum?
Cordless?
Say, do you use cordless vacuum?
It doesn't really exist. Corded vacuums are hard enough to find a decent one. Yeah, that stupid Dyson thing that everybody loves is hot garbage. I don't know, man. Yeah, the Milwaukee of the shop vac is pretty cool. But yeah, I think you need to plug it in. SIBO.
Maverick says, hey, Matt, I started buying the OG 1.0 garage lights. I think I need to get 3 more.
Okay.
I see now you have a 2.0 version. Not sure if aesthetically I like them as much as the 1.0. Can you advise me on the 1.0 versus the 2.0?
Well, the 1.0 has a reflector on it, right? So it has to have a large casing. The problem is that basically what we did is we had single-sided LED tubes, meaning that they have a heat sink on the back where the LEDs fire downward. Whereas in the old days, fluorescents, they would fire up and down, and so you'd have a reflector to help reflect some of the light back down into the room. And so you had this big giant case that you really weren't using because the reflector is useless. It was just there, so you're paying for it. So I think the new ones, are they a little less money? Or are they more? I forget what they are. Let's see.
2.0 from 145 for the 4 bulb, 177 for the 6 bulb.
But that's not the right. I think 2.0 is the new reflectorless version. That's not the right picture, though. We better ask the guys about that. See if you can. Go to click on those other pictures. Yeah, that's different. Shoot, we got to take those original pictures off. So the enclosure is just more appropriate. I think we can still get the 1.0s if you need them. I think they still have them. So just hit up the guys at support, and they can probably help you out if you want the 1.0s. But the 2.0s on the ceiling do look better. It's smaller, it's more compact, and there's no useless parts.
All right, Michael wants to know, what are Matt's thoughts on the SVS 3000 Micro Sub? It seems similar to the ones he put in his new home theater.
Yeah, it's great for, I like that as a desk subwoofer if you need something small and compact. In a home theater, I think it's a little weak.
Brian wants to know, is Matt a college football man? I hope he's not a Florida fan. Go Mizzou.
Yeah, I don't really have a college football team. I do have to watch Florida quite a bit. Everybody in my family is a Florida fan. Ryan, we have season tickets to the Gators. By we, I mean they. Michelle and Ryan have them, but I guess technically I'm paying for them. And I like Penn State, but I like watching. I like Notre Dame. I just like watching college football in general. But yeah, I'm a huge college football fan. I like college football more than the NFL, but I also am an NFL fan. College football, to me, the difference is the fans. For me, is what I like college football more. I just feel like NFL is like weird fat dads that have very little going on in life, whereas the college football is college grads generally. It's just a different demographic. I don't like fantasy stuff. Do you play fantasy?
Not this year, for the first time in 22 years.
Yeah, but you could probably play fantasy just casually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have no interest in doing anything casually, so I'm not a fantasy of anything. I don't do fantasy. I do real life. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just not interesting to me. I did one time in college. And I was like, this is dumb. I just like, this is not interesting to me. I don't do NCAA brackets.
You
don't do any of that. No, it's stupid. I don't do what everybody else does.
All right, most unwanted 316i says, I tried CarPro Hydro 2 Lite. I'm surprised of how easy it was to apply for maintenance washes. Pretty good shine for not touching the car at all.
Yeah, but it doesn't do anything. All it will do eventually is build up on the surface, and you end up with some chalky white stuff. But we've talked about this a lot on the podcast. It's just putting a superficial, you're just getting some silicon dioxide little particles to kind of slightly attach to the surface, and some, in different places on the paint, which makes the water change behavior. But there's no chemical resistance. The shine part is a placebo because it's not changing the characteristic of what your paint looks like. It's just adding a little bit of hydrophobics because of how it leaves a little bit of silicon dioxide behind. It's really not doing anything or very little.
Let's see. Our buddy Brad Hone says Owen was awesome. So I guess he watched that video. Yeah, Owen has a pretty cool story. It's worth watching that video if you haven't yet. Dan Jackson. Hey, Matt, do you know how wide the single DI system cabinet is going to be? I'm planning my setup. It's going to look great next to my ProSlat array.
I believe each section is 18 inches wide. So if you did a single, it'd be 18. If you did a dual, it'd be 36. If you did a triple, it'd be 48.
54.
No, 54, sorry.
Close. Yeah. Also, will you be able to add a bucket filler to either side?
Yes.
Let's see. W. Ryan says, are you going to convince any family and friends to move to Middleton with you?
Oh, I'm working on it. I'm working on Chris. I'm working on Tim. Working on Mike F. Working on the Wabas. I'm getting everybody recruited. It's only a matter of time. I got Mike F. I got him thinking about it.
Oh, that seems a little small for Mike F.
Mm-hmm.
He's got all of his land he likes.
Yeah. It like consumes his life. So I'm trying to get him to relax. He's gonna die in earlier because of stupid land he's got to deal with. So I need to keep him fresh. That's why I want to give him a nice little 1/4-acre plot. Mm-hmm. Get him somebody cutting his grass for him, so we can kick his feet up on the weekend and drink some sweet tea and watch his his little empire. And that's what I'm trying to get him to do. Yeah, get him all to relax. Just relax. Slow it down a little bit. Spend all that energy on OG only,
Don't be mowing your 10 acres.
Like, look, we can work 7 days a week. Well, I'll be right here. It'll be great.
808, our buddy in Hawaii, says, aloha, guys. Matt, are you still working on bringing different color OG spec pressure washer hoses to the store? I want a gray one to fit my garage aesthetics.
It doesn't exist in gray. That's the problem.
Matt D wants to know, has the plan for a man door in the Middleton garage changed?
Nope. We'll be doing that next once the wall's done.
Cat Will, what would you recommend for ETF?
Yeah, that's a much longer. He's talking exchange traded funds. Okay. Yeah, it's not that simple.
All right, Max wants to know then, have you found an OG spec oil pan?
One on the ground, not really. I mean, Samson has one, SAMSON has one that I bought, was kind of interesting, but it's so big and bulky, it's hard to deal with. I don't have an answer to that. I usually just buy the green ones at AutoZone.
Adam wants to know, I think you might like this idea here. How about selling an OG auto/audio wiring tool solution, complete with wiring strippers/cutters/crimper, splice/butt connectors, ring terminals, sleeves, soldering kit, etc.?
Yeah, maybe someday.
I'll add that to the short list.
Yeah.
Tim Kiley, Realtor. Hey guys, I have someone in mind that may be a good fit for garage installs. Where can I send you an email with details?
You can send it to me, matt@obsessgarage.com.
Simon says, hi team, how's Australia coming along? My Amex is ready. I used the OG tire dressing yesterday. It's awesome. Other brand punting is the next step.
As soon as we get Canada rolling, we're targeting at March 1st is the target date.
Fine Detailing says, I tried Traceless.
Mm-hmm.
I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different in a good way.
Mm-hmm. It's like cheating.
Midget A says, hey, Matt, how do I arrange to pick up what I buy at the office since I live in the villages instead of paying for shipping?
Just send a note to support.
Yeah, support at Obsessed Garage, or just come by if you want to hang out for a bit and shop yourself. Other than glass, here we go. What are good uses for Traceless?
We just said buttholes. Yeah. Skin care. Anything really. I mean, computer screens, keyboards, mouses, countertops, stainless steel. What else? I wouldn't use it on drywall.
What on your watch? Do you use it on
watches.
Even the fancy watches.
Yep, my iPhone.
And then Dustin, I guess he's referring to the butthole comment here. Wildest thing I've ever heard Matt say. Oh, wow. That's 2 weeks in a row we've heard butthole.
Something wild, yeah.
That's good.
I was like, what are you talking, BH? What are you talking about?
Thank you for the stainless steel appliance feedback on Traceless. I expect that to be my primary use.
I think it's going to be good. Now, I've got the Wyman's on there. I have to get that off because it leaves like an oil behind. So, but I think it's going to be good.
Peter says, what do you think of Pan having his own line? Wasn't his whole channel about testing all the different products and companies? I do wish him luck, but do we really need another line? LOL.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's planning. He was kind of vague on what he's planning. I'm assuming maybe he's going to do something with DIY detail or something like that, and use various blenders. That's a hard road. If you want to do it right, it's a really, really hard road. And doing it right, you still have to get lucky while you're at it too. So that's part of the reason why I never came out with my own line, is I just don't believe that you can't just go to a chemist and just create a great product. It's not that simple. If it were that simple, 3M has the best chemists, I would think. 3M, Meguiar's are the best chemists. So Meguiar's theoretically should have, let's say there are 16 products to wash your car, they should have 16 best, if not number one, number two, and they have one product, two products that are like best in class. And so, you've got to get a lot of things right. You got to catch lightning in a bottle to get even one class-leading product. And so it'd be like hitting the lottery 16 straight times, which just I don't think is possible. Now, you might be able to make a decent line, a decent products, but, pick any particular brand, the vast majority of their products aren't in the top 10. And many product lines don't have a single product in the top 10. So that's always been my apprehension. Now, I think you can make a great line, and I'm sure Pan's thinking about, look, I have a broad audience of people that are, enthusiasts, light enthusiasts, newbies, all the way to professionals. And if he's targeting, say newbies and light enthusiasts, to say, hey, I'm going to create something nice like Ammo NYC's line. It's just a decent product line, decent grouping of products. They all work. None of them are going to cause any problems for you. But for me personally, I'm looking for class-leading stuff. Many of you that are listening to this are looking for like the best in class. Some of that is subjective, but you would generally, that subjectiveness would be down to like 2 or 3 products that one may have a different preference for over another. But that would be my guess. Is I haven't talked to him about it, but my guess is he's probably thinking, look, I'm just going to create a great process, a really nice system that's going to work really well for my audience that just doesn't know where to start, doesn't know what to do. And I'm testing so many different products that he has a pretty good idea of what he likes. And so he's going to be able to give a lot of that feedback to a chemist. It's a model that I think if you put a lot of work in, like Bradley Nielsen at Armor has put a lot of work into his line of products, and even then it's hard to catch lightning in a bottle. My favorite product from him is the Armor wheel coating. I don't think the others are best in class, and so that's why I liked Griot's interior more than his interior cleaner. I like Brake Buster more than his wheel cleaner. I like, if he's lucky, he might have, a couple of, 2-3 products that are in the top 5 in class. But in order to take that risk, you may end up with a class leading, like world beating product like the wheel coating. But I would argue some of that's testing, but a lot of it's, again, catching lightning in a bottle. You got the combination right. And so unless you're going to go out and hire 16 different chemists for 16 different products, and then actually you probably want like 10 different chemists for each individual product, and you could spend a lifetime on each one of those 16 individual products for the process and still not get a class-leading product because somebody else got lucky. So that's my take on a product line. I intend to make an Obsessed Garage product line, which really isn't the Obsessed Garage product line. It's just a matching bottle. And I'm going to go to all the vendors, all the manufacturers who have the class-leading product and put it in a matching bottle.
All right, Most Unwanted 316 has a question for you. 2 options for a car. Hey, Matt, should I dump $45K on an F82 M4 or spend $10K more for a similar mileage G82 M4.
Ugh. I hate both of those.
So spend less.
It's terrible. Yeah. M4 is hideous. I would want a M3, and I would rather have, if I had those are my two choices, I'd definitely do the F80 M3 over the G82 or G80 M3 for sure. If you get a big fat pig nose, big heavy car, I'd rather have the F80, but not the M4. The M4 is just ugly in the two-door.
Chad Doss wants to know, what does Traceless smell like?
Traceless. I mean, it's got its own smell.
Well, Fine Detailing chimed in here. He said, kind of fresh, maybe slight berry. It's very light.
That's good description, yeah.
Fresh.
There's a few people that hate the smell of it. I think they're just babies.
I need to smell it. I haven't smelled it. Hey, Matt, would you ever bring back the OG nozzles with the Mosmatic tips instead of the MTM? The Mosmatic seem to be more of a true 40-degree pattern than the MTM.
See, I think the MTM one is a truer, and it's the Mosmatic tips weren't really Mosmatic. I forget where we were sourcing them from. They were Mosmatic sourced, but Mosmatic wasn't manufacturing them. I just think the MTMs are so much nicer. Maybe you just got a bad one, but I found that the spray pattern was much more specific than it was on the Mosmatic version.
On the Phoenix versus something better CRI question, a better option would be Prometheus lights and 4.7s. Same company, U.S. handmade versus China brands, respectively. Two more options for us. Kiefer wants to know, how's everything been surrounding your anxiety of driving, etc.? You seem much further ahead than years past, unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in the same spot. I'm thinking about getting a Model S, but the new full self-driving is seems to be killing it. That might help me.
James wants to know, what are your thoughts on painting garage ceiling black and then using the Cree lights?
I don't like it. I know everybody else likes it. It's just so hard to get a black ceiling really correct. Whereas a white ceiling, so it tends to draw a lot of attention. The concept is when you have a black ceiling, kind of makes it feel a little bigger. But I just, I'm a sucker for perfected paint, and it's almost impossible to get it right, exactly right. But if you have a really great painter and your ceiling is really well dialed, it's just hard to get it perfect.
Functional Garage says, hey Matt, which brand would you recommend for forged one-piece wheels, HRE or Vossen?
I mean, generally it would be HRE. Vossen's come a long way, but Vossen has some weird styles. It's very rare. I mean, HRE, I like almost everything they make. Vossen, maybe one or two that are kind of acceptable. Another wheel company that's underrated that's really nice is Signature. So check out Jimmy at Signature. Those wheels are pretty sweet.
It's me, that guy. Says, what up, Chris? From Alex. Hey there, Alex. Thanks for checking in. Steven, do you like the Milwaukee detail light?
It's okay. I prefer the Milwaukee detail light if I'm trying to look straight on. And then if I'm going to do any kind of angled looking, I would do the Sun Match from Scan Grip. If I had to choose one or the other, I'd definitely choose the Sun Match over the Milwaukee.
Patrick wants to know, what are your final thoughts on Rupes HLR 15?
I don't have final thoughts yet. I need to do a couple more cars with it. It's okay. I've said this before, but the Milwaukee makes me hate the Rupes, and the Rupes makes me hate the Milwaukee. I was perfectly fine with the Milwaukee before I got the Rupes, but the Rupes is super smooth, so it makes me hate the Milwaukee, and then it makes me the Milwaukee because it's more, it doesn't stall as much. It's just a more utilitarian tool. The battery doesn't hit the fender well, but it's grindier and not as smooth, and certainly doesn't look the part. Doesn't look as cool with a carbon fiber and the lights on the side and stuff like that. So I don't like either one of them now. So I don't know what to do. So I have to keep them both.
But which one do you like? Yeah.
I don't know.
Not cordless though, but we have your favorite polisher sitting over there.
Oh, the LEs. Do we have them in stock? Is that why you brought it here?
Yep. They are now in
They're
stock?
not normally pink. Mine's pink from the E30 in the single stage. Yeah, the LE version ones, we have, 50 of them or so left? 40 of them?
I'll look it up here.
Something like that. So our container just sneakily showed up the other day. We didn't know it was coming. It might be less than that.
This one?
34. Oh, no, that's the A1000. 72.
Okay, the T4000, 72 in stock. Yeah, they just showed up, so...
That's the version 1 with the attached cord.
Matt D, with regard to moving me and others into Middleton, said, Chris with a driveway, ? That's true. Could I, opt out of a driveway and they give me $10,000 off the price of the house or something? I've never had a driveway. I don't want a driveway. I don't have a paved driveway, I should say. I have a driveway. Jeff W, can you come up and do a destination OG in Michigan? I would rent it several weeks out of the year. Northern Michigan. What's next?
The odds of me ending up in Michigan is almost zero.
Well, northern Michigan, you're getting closer to Canada.
I don't think I've ever even been to Michigan.
I've been a long time ago.
I've been to Detroit airport twice,
Flying
3
through.
times. Yeah. Otherwise, I've never stepped foot on Michigan soil.
Let's see. What are my options for using DI water with my pressure washer? Restrictor or water tank? It's from Erks.
I don't know what he's asking. He's talking about what DI to buy, maybe?
What are my options for using DI water with my pressure washer?
Well, I mean, you just buy one and hook it up. I think he's asking something different. Like what brand? You have the RV Transformers. You've got DI Rinse Pro. You've got CR Spotless. The OG system that's coming. So I don't know if that answers his question.
Super chat from Spencer, $9.99. Matt, in my steel building, I'm going to have 2 rooms dedicated to tent/coating. The steel columns will be exposed. What should I do? Bays are also 30 feet deep. Is it worth doing 30 feet of cabinets or less? Or less? ?
I'm confused. What is he asking? The steel columns will be exposed. That's fine.
They're 30 feet deep. Be more specific, Spencer. Help us out.
Is he asking what he should do to the columns? Or what he should do in between the columns? I'm not really sure what he's asking me there.
All right, let's see. Dan, our buddy in Minnesota, coming in late. Yes, you are. Shame on you, Dan. Have you tried Clarify Phobic on the shower screens yet?
No. It'd be kind of a cool thing to clean it with Traceless and then hit it with Clarify Phobic. I've been thinking about that.
That's good.
I need to take a bottle of Clarify Phobic home with me. I don't have one.
Matt, would you see the Cree lights in the living room? If so, which ones? Would you put Cree lights in the living room? If so, which one?
You would want the Cree CR6T in 3500K and probably the 1600 lumen version, the 150 watt version.
Let's see, Jonathan, we hear this question fairly often from Jonathan. Any good recommendations for an office chair?
I like I'm sitting on a steel case. I like the steel case chairs. I mean, you can never go wrong with a Herman Miller Aeron. That's the sort of the standard. What's the one that Joe Pichette was telling me about? His wife loves. It's crap. It's really expensive. It's like $4,000. It's called.
Oh my, that's hideous.
It's really plush. Crap. It looks like that Luca one, but that's not it. No, it's not a throne. No. Crap, what is it called? He just sent it to me the other day. This is going to drive me crazy.
Look at that. Man, there's some ugly ones out there. $10,000 for that.
I'm going to look it up. I'm going to get it for you.
Herman Miller Eames.
I'm going to get it for you.
It's $4,675. I have a Herman Miller Aeron, and I've had it for 8+ years now. It's a great chair. Let's see if Spencer added in more details here.
This is driving me crazy. Why is it so terrible? Searchability. Yeah, I don't have it here.
JYCCH.
I don't know what it's
Luxury
called.
boss chair. All right. Herman Miller Aeron. Spencer, going back to his question here. The bays are 30 feet deep and wanting to do cabinets on that wall. Not sure if it's worth having 30 feet of cabinets or not.
Oh, yeah, probably not. I mean, that's expensive real estate. I think having 20 feet that makes sense, because you're not gonna have enough stuff to put in each one of them. So I would probably limit it down a little bit and figure out exactly what you need.
Eric wants to know, can you please speak to the business decision to exclude Destination OG products from the Hex Plus discount? Will there eventually be a different membership program for Destination OG products?
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
He's still on this chair then.
Yeah, I can't find it.
There's some ugly chairs out there.
It's like right on the edge of my brain.
All right, as soon as you start answering these questions, it'll come to you. Can you please speak to the business decision to exclude Destination OG products from the Hex Plus discount? Will there eventually be a different membership program for Destination OG products?
Most of them don't have enough margin. That's the main issue on why they're not. Like Hayfla doesn't have enough margin. A lot of the lighting stuff doesn't have enough margin, but hopefully it will soon. But that's why. It's just the margin available on those products, because I haven't sold as many of them. I don't have quite the discount that I would need to make it work.
J Firefighter 1 wants to know, do you have a preferred wash medium for rinseless wash? Sponge, mitt, microfiber, etc.
Yeah, I like microfibers and a bunch of microfiber towels, but a lot of people will use mitts or pads. I don't know. I don't like that. I like to just use a towel, wipe it off, and chuck it.
Functional Garage wants to know, what's your opinion on a passive home that has heating pumps, centralized air systems that recuperates heat, solar power, and all that other stuff?
I like that. I think it's fun. I think it's interesting. I think it doesn't pay, right? It doesn't pay off. I think that I love solar. Water reclamation I think could be really cool. So I love the idea of it. But the break even on doing solar on your house is like 30 years to get that money back. So you don't do it for the money. And so it ends up being, we're sort of disincentivized to do that kind of stuff. But I think it's cool.
Sam Seiler says, hey, Matt, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and you mentioned a small group. I think that's pretty cool. Has your faith helped you on your OCD journey?
No. Nothing helps me on my OCD journey, it seems. I'm in a house of horrors all of my own. Can't seem to... Yeah.
With regard to that, Jeff W. says, if your family isn't quite like you in that way, like, say, around the house with leaving stuff on counters, etc.
Yeah, it drives me nuts.
Do you tidy up like I do?
All day, every day, nonstop. Drives me crazy. And I complain about it, and I yell at everybody, and it doesn't seem to work. Maybe I should try a different tact.
Just let it build up, and maybe eventually...
They won't care. It'd just be like this building here. You guys don't care. Look at that corner over there. No one cares. I'm the only one who cares in my entire life. Everybody just lets it build.
That's true.
You guys would just climb over boxes like a hoarder, I
bring in something new every week and just put in that corner and see if you notice. We'll see how far it takes.
Every corner.
Oh, man.
All corners are filled with stuff.
Jeff C. says, I tried using Traceless as kind of a last step on tires after using Terminator. Seemed to take off some additional residue. I would love to see Built Amber try to make a rinseless with some great surfactants?
Maybe.
Let's see. Brandon. Hey, Matt, have you found it difficult to manage your time between being present as a dad and husband versus running a business that requires so much of your time? Any advice on time management?
I have had issues with it, not so much anymore, because I spent a lot of time worrying, and planning and thinking about the destination. Actually, I'm going to make an Inside the Hex video about what I feel like I've learned to this point. But no, I mean, time is not really an issue for me. It was always just being present. If you don't have time, then you're not doing it right. You're not including people. You're not enrolling others. You're taking on too much weight on yourself. So if you don't have any time in a day, then you need to figure out, how am I going to get time? How am I going to get that back? You should have more time than you know what to do with. That if you don't, then you're doing something wrong. Not every single day, but most days. Like, I could just cancel today at any moment, at any time. So anything that I'm doing is what I want to do. I wanted to do the podcast today. I wanted to meet with Christine today, the lady who was considering maybe working with us in the future. I wanted to come in and meet with the guys about the Cree lighting package. But I could just, I've done that before. I'm like, I don't want to do any of this. Cancel everything. And if you're in a place where you can't do that, then that means that you haven't included others enough in your journey. You haven't given enough stuff. Now, there's certain things that I'm eventually going to have to make the decision on. But if you're holding on to, and I've done this in the past as well, and it happens often where when you go to the next level, that you don't know what to do with yourself. You don't know what to do. Okay, now if everybody's doing everything for me, what am I supposed to do? But if you don't include others and you don't apply leverage to your vision, then you're really just a slave to your, to the maybe the potential in the future. Now, the hardest part for me has been not that. That's been the easy part of giving up things and cultivating and developing relationships with others around me that can help take the weight. It's being present when I'm at a football game or at a volleyball game or I'm on a trip or somewhere. That's taken a long time to get there, and a lot of that has I've figured out by I don't feel like an imposter anymore. I don't feel like, oh man, I've just got lucky. Like I did get lucky, but I know the value prop. I understand the value prop. I'm confident in the value the value proposition, and so that gives you the ability to be quite a bit more present. And some of it just requires you got to do the work in order to be allowed to be present. I think you've got to struggle a bit in order to get the fruits of that, what that means. And so you don't get there immediately. In the beginning, you're packing boxes and shipping stuff and doing all the work, but you shouldn't hang on to that forever. That's where you need to really include others, so that way you have more time and you know what to do with. So you can spend time thinking. That's important. If you're the visionary, if you're the person that's responsible for the vision of the business, then you've got to figure out how to have time to do that.
Regarding the scent of Traceless, Greg says it smells like bubble gum. Agree? Disagree?
I don't know about that.
Tim says no. Let's see. Aaron says, hey, Matt, I emailed you last year regarding Calgary OG. Haven't heard anything recently. I'm not a Hex member. What's happening in Calgary? I'm ready for a career change. Tell me what you need. Let's go.
No Calgary. It's in Toronto at Mantis Tool Grid. I was looking at houses last night in Calgary, though, just seeing what was available in south of Okotoks. Nothing that really caught my eye.
Brian wants to know when and why would I need to use the white foam pads if I use the microfiber and the yellow pads beforehand?
White foam is for real finicky paint. Black paints that are softer. Sometimes yellow just doesn't work great, and you need white. So, but white I use like 20% of the time. I'm almost always using yellow. Just sometimes you need that softer paint. or softer pad on softer paint.
He then asks, also, do I really need a 1-inch polisher? I'm planning on placing a large order, including the Mirka 3-inch.
Well, speaking of the devil, here's Pan texting me. Oh yeah, I need to call him. He said, you never called me after a text message last week. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry about that. Oh yeah, Susie, the chair is stressless. Stressless Magic is the chair. Check that sucker out. That's what Sarah wants. She's had these chairs. They're like insane. Look at that sucker. Stressless. They make an office chair, but the stresslesses are like living room chairs.
Magic recliners, products. Magic recliner. I have to accept the cookies.
Yeah. Stressless Magic.
Good job, Susan.
Ooh, this is big. So, speaking of Joe Puchette, he said, give me a call when you get a chance. I have some contact information for you for Wolf Sub-Zero.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to make it happen. People. Not for you nationally, but at least locally. I want to become the local Wolf Sub-Zero dealer. Wolf Sub-Zero Cove. How cool would that be? That'd be sick.
Fancy toasters. Let's see. Porsche guy says, hey, Matt, my house would be a killer content remodel for you. I'm looking to start mid-next year. I'm redoing everything. Have 3,600 square feet hangar garage over in Daytona Beach area.
I'll do it for $1 million.
There you go. 90% OG related.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt. This is from Mike Monkhouse. I believe he's up in Canada. My garage is going to be 20 by 20 with 11-foot ceilings. Which Cree lights would you suggest and how many?
If you're 20 by 20, you'd want 3 rows of 8-foot, 2 8-footers. Cree LS, 12,000 lumen, 8-foot version, 5K, 90 CRI. That's what you'd want. So 3 rows of 2.
Simon says, hey, Matt, how is your new Distill wallet experience?
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, this is in my pocket right now.
See,
Yeah,
that's
Distill.
how good it is.
Distill.
You don't even know if it's in there or not.
Look at that.
Distill.
Yeah, that's what's so great about it. It's freaking awesome. Look, I got hundos in here, a bunch of hundos. I don't have any 20s. I need some 20s. I got 50s.
I'll trade you
1,
20 for
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I only have one hundo. What the heck?
That's weak.
What did I say? I got 11 50s and 1 hundo. How much is that?
$650.
It fits in there nicely. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's comfy. Got my 2 Amexes here. This way.
You carry like driver's license or anything else in there? Just,
Got my driver's license. Got my whatever card, my Chase Inc. card. I've got my Merrill Lynch credit card and my driver's license. Boom. On my debit card. Just for ATM if I ever needed it. It's nice. It's a real nice experience and comfy. And normally I'd like go to get my wallet out of my pocket as quickly as possible. I've been walking around here all day. I've been in here since like 11 o'clock. It's been in my pocket and didn't even know it. It's great.
So Distill is how you pronounce it? Distill? Okay. Oh.
We probably took it out because of the
giveaway ended.
Yep. We're gonna be making one.
Nice.
A specific one.
Also, this is from Simon. When OG comes down to Australia, being a Hex Lite member, would I have the opportunity to become a full member and get the same offering as USA members?
I wasn't listening. Something about Inside the Hex.
Yeah, so he's in Australia.
Oh yeah.
So when we go down there,
we'll definitely have Inside the Hex when we get there. You can become Hex Plus and get free shipping, 10% off. We'll definitely come up with that.
Hey Matt, I'm picking up a 2024 Model 3 tomorrow.
Okay.
Have you had the chance to drive one? Better quality, smoother ride, 360 acoustic glass for a boring daily driver sedan. I don't think you can beat it.
Yeah, not yet. I think I'm gonna get a Model S. They're like $50,000, $60,000, with like 10,000 miles or less on them. I need to see if that helps me.
We got a super chat here. $10 US. His first super chat from Johnny Lambright. Hi, Chris and Matt. Would the OG vacuum be a good fit for a vacuum system for the whole house?
It can be, but you'd probably want a 240-volt version, which is I'm actually going to put the souped-up version in
The Middleton house?
Yeah, in the Middleton house to test it out. I think you'd want a little bit more. You'd want a a tri-flow motor or whatever it's called. I've already forgotten. I think it's tri-flow. You'd want the more robust motor. It's louder, but you're going to put it up in the attic anyway. So you just want a little bit more capacity for a whole house.
All right, let's go. So Spencer, back to his steel thing. There will be a steel column exposed midway through the room. Should I encase it somehow or paint it black and leave it?
No, I'd leave it. I think steel columns look great.
Yeah, that would look nice.
Yeah, I'd probably just paint it black.
And Brian reminds me, we got interrupted on his question by Pan.
Oh.
I'm planning on buying the Merca 3-inch. I'm not sure if I should buy a 1-inch as well. Is it really all that necessary?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Rupes Nano long neck, Merca 3-inch, and then we don't know about the 5-inch. A Milwaukee and a Rupes, and you can hate them both.
Justin says, do you no longer sell that salt and pepper shaker? I can't find it on the website.
I think we had it for the giveaway, but we will bring it back at some point. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, we sold a surprising number of them on the giveaway. Is the Evo going to be the next giveaway?
Maybe. I said I wasn't doing giveaways,
Yeah,
but our
said no
giveaway
more.
killed it, so I kind of want to do it again.
Luke, my LE polisher just got delivered. I cannot wait to use it. It will be my first experience polishing.
Oh, nice. You're going to be spoiled then.
Yeah, that's a great starter.
Yeah, it's a really good starter.
Greg says, Luke, you're going to love the LE. Brandon says, regarding your experiences with both the E46 and the E36 M3, which was your preference?
I like the E36 a lot more. I think it sounds better. It's got a little more low-end grunt. The E46 just, I don't know, just doesn't work for me. I like the look of the E46 better, but the way that the E36 delivered power, it was just a nice cruiser because both of them are slow as crap. So I think that I preferred the slightly torquier, even though it was lower revving, but I like the E36 more.
We have some real-world feedback here for you.
Okay.
No one says, I just tried Traceless on the butthole. It's burning. Please advise. Check the warnings on the label.
Mm-hmm.
No one. Matt, about to redo my house.
Okay.
And 3,600. Oh, this is Porsche guy again. 3,600 square foot hangar garage in the Daytona Beach area. Would be a great house.
Yep.
$1 million, is that the price? For him, too?
No, we'll
He's
see.
in Daytona Beach, so it's not quite.
Well, that doesn't help me. I'm in the Village of Florida. Yeah. I mean, I could be convinced, but I just have so many projects to do. I'd have to be really convinced. Like, I'd have to be wined and dined. I'd have to have a cold plunge, a sauna, CrossFit access. Chauffeur back and forth to CrossFit gym every day. I'd have to have carte blanche, the ability to do. We need to do it right. No cutting corners.
Give me your Amex.
You need to take great care of all the other guys, whatever they need. Get us drinks and treats and cinnamon rolls and stuff like that.
Okay.
But we could be convinced. That's what I was telling Spencer because he was trying to talk me into coming up there. I'm like, Spencer, you have to remember the two guys that Fred and John that took care of us are on like a different level than we are. They really took care of us, and I don't think you're going to have the budget for that. And plus I've already committed to doing 3 chauffeured projects. But hey, we could be convinced.
Brian has some advice for the Traceless on the undercarriage.
Uh-huh.
He says thoroughly rinse with brake buster. That's what you do to fix that.
Yeah, that might not be a bad. That's not a good idea.
John Bartlett wants to know: did you order the new iPhone?
Yes.
If so, which color and how much storage?
Black And I always just order the 128. I think it's 128, isn't it? I'm going to start doing iPhone as my webcam in companion mode and see how that works. I'm working on my new desk setup. It's going to be sick. But of course, I didn't order it when I was supposed to. And so I'm not getting mine until like October 15th. You could walk in a store and get one like tomorrow. But, I already got 128 in black. I got a purple case for it, though. The plum case can be sick.
Oh, you go for the smaller capacity. Interesting.
The case just showed up. Well, I got iCloud. I don't really need all this capacity for. I mean, let's look at my phone now. Let's see how much stuff I got on it. Let's see. That's a kind of an interesting question here. If I go to General, About, I have a 256. How did I get a 256? Oh, because it's a max. You were on iPhone 16. I think it's 256. I got 152 gigabytes available. Yeah, you're in the. Oh yeah, it's 16 Pro Max.
Oh, the Pro Max. I see.
Yeah. You're on 18. Who the heck's buying an AT&T website? Yeah, so I've got more than 50% of capacity available.
Let's see here. Matt, I'm the same way, picking up after others. I rediscovered my passion for organization and order after watching all these videos the past few months. Thanks, Mike P. Cool, Mike. L Milka123. About ready to purchase Rousseau cabinets. What are your thoughts on drawer heights? 2 to 3 inches to lay tools down, or 4 inches to stand sockets up?
I wasn't listening again. I'm not doing great on you.
Almost ready to purchase Rousseau cabinets.
Got it. Okay.
Thoughts on drawer heights? 2 or 3 inches to lay tools down, or 4 inches to stand sockets
No,
up?
I think like on my array we did all the taller drawers, so I think they call them 5-inch drawers, which have 4-inch internals. And so I'll be making a video on that. So almost all of my drawers are taller. That way I can fit tool grid and organize everything a little better. So you want that if you have the choice, which with Rousseau you do.
Freeman wants me to please tape Matt's hands to something away from the mic stand. It is killing me through earbuds. Sorry, Freeman. Yeah. What's your favorite hypercar? Jerda Land wants to know.
I don't really have one.
What defines it as? Is it the price? Is it the horsepower? Is it the
Who knows?
Limitedness?
I don't really have any interest in any of that.
Golf wants to know, has the PPF of the GT moved up in the order of upgrade?
No. It's going to be a little while. Just going to take my time. Got to get the garage built. Both garages built. So that way I have a place to do it.
And you convinced Brian to put the 1-inch Rupes in his cart. So there we go.
Smart. Yep. Do the long neck to start, and then if you get baller, then you get the short neck, and then if you get really baller, you get one of each or 2 of each. That would be sick.
2 of each. Let's see. Andrew says, "Hey Matt, I'm looking to replace my ancient Griot's polisher.
Okay.
I'm torn between the Liquid Elements and the Milwaukee polishers. Which would be the better choice?"
Well, out of those two, I'd rather have the Milwaukee because it's cordless. Just a better experience. If you have the money, you would buy the Milwaukee. I mean, if you don't, then the LE is a good compromise.
All right, let's see. Thanks for the reply. I just want to stay at the top of your inbox for when you inevitably decide that Calgary is 10 times better than Toronto.
Well, it certainly is, yeah.
As the business has continued to grow, Alex wants to know, how's the priority of more entry-level / cost-effective options for things changed? More of a focus, less of a focus?
No, it's been the same. I'm just looking for products that are great, and then there's a progressive step there. And if I come across something like LE is a good example. Like I wasn't looking for it, but if I come across something that I think is great, that I don't know that I really want now at this stage in life, but I could see that I would have certainly accepted that and appreciated it, then I'd bring it in. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's certainly more than the very beginning. The beginning, I thought I would only sell the highest end of stuff. But then after doing the pressure washing project and then sort of realizing, man, there's really a progression in life, it has changed a bit. But since then, no, I haven't changed the philosophy.
Dean says, hey, Matt, have you seen Eddie's review regarding the LE polishers? EDDY. I don't know who that is.
No.
Brad says, Verizon screwed up my 4 a.m. pre-order. I have to wait along with Matt now.
Yeah.
Brian says, I'm still waiting on Matt's presidential endorsement so I can know who to vote for. If he doesn't, I guess I'm just going to have to listen to Taylor Swift.
Is that even a question? Who in the world would vote for Kamala Harris? That's insane. No one voted for her. That's the whole thing. It's freaking nonsense. I don't want to vote for Trump. I want to vote for RFK, but, look what where RFK ended up. I don't think RFK loves Trump either, but he's just looking, they're looking to make sure this whole thing doesn't collapse with some freaking, moron.
Harley17 says, hello, gentlemen. Your volume is low for the last 2 weeks, or my age is catching up with me.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of both, Harley. It happens to all of us. Jeff W., would you do a PPF tutorial when redoing the GT for those who have never done it, even for those who just want to do piano black B-pillars for some scratch protection, etc.?
We've had Ryan, sort of show what he does. It's not really one of those things I think you just it's kind of hard to figure. It's an art form that I don't really intend to tackle. It's kind of like paintless dent removal. It's not something you can just figure out on a weekend.
If you could have only one, would you get a 991.1 GT3 RS or a new GT4 RS?
Yeah, 991.1 GT3 RS. But I'm going to have both. So I'm not going to have to make that choice. But I would do the .1 RS for sure.
All right. Perfect timing. That's all the questions we got for today.
Oh, nice.
How about that? It worked out.
We were 15 minutes late and 15 minutes early. That's the way to go. That's it. And then you comment on politics, get yourself in trouble with some what is it? Dads for white dads for Kamala or something like that. Kamala, you're supposed to say. Yeah, that's just wild how they pulled that off, man. I'm generally a pretty centrist dude. I tend to lean conservatively fiscally, because want to be a rich person, and rather not pay a bunch of tax. But man, the whole thing is wild. You got clearly someone who will just do whatever it takes, or do whatever they say, whoever they are. It's just wild how, and you go from like the most unpopular person ever. I couldn't even imagine it. I'm like, well, whenever Biden dropped out, I'm like, this is over. Nope. They freaking manufactured this thing. I've never seen it. No one's ever seen anything like it. It's crazy. And I just don't understand how people they do man on the street interviews and how people can be like, I don't understand how you could make that choice. I mean, I understand why people don't like Trump. I get that. But man, and it's wild. The whole thing is wild. But the good news is, like, people like Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., hopefully they can get in Trump's ear and get him to shut up and just do things and do, that would be amazing. But man, I just wish that, if RFK had run as a Democrat, I would have just voted to pay more tax and been a frickin' Democrat. You're just looking for somebody smart, best of the best. But who would want that job? It's such a crazy job that, I mean, the whole thing's a mess. But we'll see. What is it? Gary V says, if what does he say? I'm paraphrasing here. Something about if you believe that the person that's president is going to affect your outcome or whatever, you're a loser, something like that. So you just kind of work with whatever you get and try to figure out a way around it, figure out how to leverage. We risk the republic. That's the risk here. And the thing that's just so odd to me is that the people that are talking about, we don't care about democracy. We care about the republic. We care about the Constitution, the document. isn't that the fall of Greece? They talk about how it was like the typical democracy, and one side got all the power, and then they just blew the whole thing up. So it's not democracy that we care about. We care about the founding document. That's the most important part. First Amendment, the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment exists in order to protect the First Amendment. And when you're attacking the First Amendment, you say that the First Amendment, that there's certain times it doesn't apply. No, it applies 100% of the time. That's the wild part, is that there's the other side is sort of for it. It's crazy to see how it's shifted. For the Democrats were the bleeding hearts. They were the people that were for the labor, the labor for labor in the U.S. They were not for censorship. They were for freedom of speech. And now it's flip flopped. And now you have all the old Democrats that are becoming Republicans. I wonder if that's what happened, what it felt like because didn't like the Bible Belt weren't they all Democrats, like Jimmy Carter Democrats back in the day? And then that kind of shifted, that now they're all modern Republicans. It's just a weird shift. But RFK was talking about how, I didn't realize this, that in the age of the robber barons, with the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts and all those powerful families, that democracy had been basically destroyed, right? And that they ran everything. They appointed senators. They just kind of behind the scenes ran the show. And it seems very similar to what's happening, where we've kind of headed down that path again, where the robber barons are now the social media companies, the Wall Street companies, and they've just shift. The Dick Cheneys of the world will just shift towards, the Northrop Grummans of the world will shift towards whatever side they can manipulate. During 9/11 and stuff, and how we got the Patriot Act, it was the Republicans that were the ones that were manipulated and just appointed. And now it's kind of shifted over to the Democrat side. It's just wild. But the whole thing seems like we just need somebody really sharp to get in there. And what it seems as though Trump is allowing some really sharp people. He's been quoted as saying, look, when I got in there the first time, I had to hire 60,000 people. I didn't know how to do that in such a short amount of time. And I think there is a potential that if he could just shut his mouth, that maybe he knows how to do it this time around. And you can bring in and you can appoint, RFK to the head of the FDA, and you can make Tulsi Gabbard, Secretary of State, and we can go and fix the border, fix these things. It's very possible that the Elon Musks of the world can come in and the brightest minds can come together and sort of change some of the bureaucracy. So maybe it could be like the 1800s, where Teddy Roosevelt was the person who came in and basically blew up the whole system of the robber barons, going and dictating how the country was driven. So it feels a lot like that now. The book The Fourth Turning is pretty interesting on how we're in these 80-year cycles, and we're nearing the end of an 80-year cycle. So I forget who told me to read that book. I think it was my coach. Just interesting stuff. I think about this stuff not politically. I think of this stuff as, how am I going to manage the 30 or 40 of you? How am I going to cast vision and steer the ship based on, what happens with these things? I don't really have strong opinions on one side or the other. I can see, the argument for social safety nets. I can see the argument for conservatism. I can see the argument for all of that. I don't really have strong stances on the goofy crap that everybody seems to have a strong stance on. I'm just thinking of it more from a practitioner perspective. What would we need to do in order to navigate the environment, to live a fruitful life, to be charitable, and to take care of our community? What would we need to do that, and where would my vote best be cast in order to accomplish that? And then try to work our way around this from a business perspective. So that's not a political thing, but you have to understand what's going on in the world to some extent.
All right, I lied. 2 quick ones for you here. Jeps has an Ambio Plus soundbar. Which sub would you recommend to go with it?
Let's see. The Ambio Plus, I would probably buy the Ambio subwoofer because it'll wire up, it'll sync up wirelessly. It's not a great subwoofer. You can do 2 up to 4 of them, but it's just so seamless that I think it's worth doing that.
And then from our buddy Sunny Color, let's end with this. Do you believe in aliens?
I do not. No. But I don't know. The moon landing seems a little shady to me. What do you think about that?
I don't know enough.
I wonder what Elon Musk thinks about the moon landing.
It's pretty wild to think that they did that long ago.
I don't know. It seems odd.
Some smart guys.
Was he telling me stick to cars, not politics?
Yeah.
Somebody asked. What do you want me to
dribble?
What do you want me to say? I like all sides. I like all people. I like people that are rational, on both sides. And that's almost all people. I travel the country. I'm all over the place. And, plenty of people that lean right and plenty of people that lean left. And almost no one is who you see portrayed online. These crazy extremes. Like you just don't come across those people very often. And most people are just reasonable and rational, and you're sort of a product of your environment. Most people, and almost everybody wants kind of the same thing. They just want to be free to chase, and some people prefer to have a little bit more handed out to them than others. But in general, I think most people just want an opportunity. And so these extremes that you see published all over the place is a bunch of nonsense. At least that's not what I experience. I'm sure that there's some people at OG here that are, more conservative, some that are more, more liberal, but we don't have that coming up in conversation. We're just people getting along. And I think that that's generally the world. And so the more that you can sort of figure out you have to be aware of the world, but the more you can figure out how to navigate it with whatever hand you're dealt with, or whatever cards you're given, you can go and try to figure out how to navigate around that. So anyway, that's my thought. I don't talk about that a lot because it gets you in trouble, but I don't really have a strong opinion on one way or the other. I'm just trying to navigate what cards I'm dealt and then cast a somewhat intelligent vote. And I'm a registered Republican, but I could be convinced one way or the other. It sure seems like the path of the moderate is on the Republican side at the moment, but at one point it wasn't. At one point that was more Patriot Act extreme, and I don't know. I guess you'd probably be better off being a registered independent. The problem is then you can't vote in primaries, which is stupid. We'll see. Hopefully the Republic stands. Hopefully that document will hold up. And, the Founding Fathers had a pretty good sense for this stuff. So hopefully that holds up and we don't do something stupid. If not, we'll be in... used to think we'd go to Canada. And Canada's way worse. We're going to end up at Switzerland or something like that. We'll see.
Yeah, for those of you paying attention, he completely avoided the alien thing, by the way.
No, I said I don't believe in.
No aliens? Okay.
No, I'm afraid of that. I don't want it to be true. I don't want to get anally probed with Bilt Hamber. I had to stop watching horror movies, man. I just can't do it. It stresses me out. I think the last horror movie I watched was The Grudge. Remember that? It was Sarah Michelle Gellar, and there was like the crawling across the ceiling. I'm like, I'm never, or maybe it was like that in The Ring, like did me in. I'm like,
The Ring, yeah.
I am not watching this stuff ever again. So alien stuff, it's just like I don't want the stress of that. That I don't watch those kind of movies and stuff. We don't really have movies anymore, but I don't like any kind of what's the one with what's the guy from The Office, where they have to be real quiet. It's like the silent something. It's Emily Blunt and Jim from The Office.
James.
It's the silent something or other. Like I can't watch that. Yeah.
A Quiet
Place. Yeah, there's 3 of them. I almost get sucked into watching them. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I don't want any aliens coming and messing things up.
Quiet Place. Thanks, Regression Decibel.
You're getting real deep. When are you going to ask me that? What else am I going to get in trouble with here?
Closets and hallways. 3,500? 3,000? What's your preferred Kelvin temperature for those?
Whatever you have in the house, right? So you want to stick to the symbol, is the same color temp throughout the house. The only place I would change the color temp would be the garage. So in most houses, 3,500, unless it's really warm. Like Helen has a lot of red and a lot of stone and a lot of earth tones, then I'm doing 3K. But most homes now, you're going to do 3,500.
One last super chat from Spencer. His way of taking care of you and the guys would be unlimited steak from our farm. And Chislic. That's the thing we looked up last week.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Everyday Jay. He's heading down to Florida from California for a 3-week trip.
Nice.
Wife gets to go to Disney and a T Swift concert. Any advice on fun OG stuff to see? Yeah, just come up here.
Yep.
We're in 70 minutes north of there-ish. Come see us. Otherwise, I don't have much to do in Orlando. I try to avoid Orlando, but I can't.
Yeah, Orlando's cool. Go to Gatorland.
That is kind of...
Yeah, go to Universal. Universal's fun. City Walk is fun. Maybe you can go out to the beach. If you're going to go to the beach, go to like Clearwater or something like that. Would be cool.
Clearwater.
Either New Smyrna on the East Coast or, out to Clearwater. If you want to go all the way down to like Siesta Key, that's my favorite beach.
Oh, Sarasota area is nice, yeah.
Yeah, but that's like 2.5 hours.
All right, thanks everybody. We appreciate all the questions and humoring us and listening to Matt rant and rave.
See ya.
Hand out good advice. See you next time.
Later.
Rod Wave? I think he meant Red Wave.
I don't know. That's what Ryan listens to.
Oh, that's what he says. Take Ryan to see Rod Wave.
I don't know who that is, but it's terrible. It's mumble rap.